What's up, Walking Dead friends and family? It's Brian Castrillo here, back with another review, and it is time for Fear the Walking Dead. It is back, Season 7, Episode 1, The Beacon. And oh, did I like this episode. It was dark, and really different, really eerie vibe. It was just a perfect video for this time of year, or perfect episode, and we meet a new character. Now, we first see this guy walking around. He's got the gas mask on, and he's going through the world. You see him like drinking from a water bottle, and he's going on. He's looking for something, and he's killing different walkers, or and he's looking for food and whatever. And he seems to even have I forget what that's called, but where they're checking the radiation. And as when he killed a walker, he was checking the cans for radiation. But I noticed in his little truck or van that he's marking down everyone that he killed, which was kind of interesting. And the cinematography in this was really cool throughout the entire episode. I love the beginning where they're showing how desolate Texas has become since the fallout of these warheads that went off everywhere. You got the cloud; it's real kind of grayish yellow, and you can see walking through the woods. There's fire. The water looks horrible, and just really love the visuals of this episode. But eventually learned this guy's name is Will, and really enjoyed this character, even if he doesn't last. I mean, it was a short-lived character, but wow, he left a very memorable episode, and I'm hoping that we get some flashbacks back in. But so ultimately, we see he's getting tired, and there's there's a scene where he's in the woods and he's crying, and this walker's coming in closer, and you see like face is all messed up, the skin is gone, just looks rough, and it looks like Will at this point is giving up, and the walker gets closer and closer, and all of a sudden he's shot, and we see this group comes and they grab Will, they bring him somewhere, and they're hosing him down with water, and they got the broom, and they're cleaning him, and they bring him up the stairs, and this is where, of course, we last saw Victor Strand, because it's as they call it, the tower, which when I hear the tower, all I can think is Father Gabriel over in The Walking Dead. That's just pumped into my head. The tower death has happened, but what if it happens on this show? Just something I was thinking about. What if they bring that death over here? But anyways, we finally get up to, they're bringing them up the elevator, and they go up to the 6th floor, and right as they're coming out, like, he gives them a couple hard elbows, knocks out the two guys, and he runs through, and he locks them behind this steel cage door or whatever, and he sees this sword, and then all of a sudden you hear a familiar sound of a gun click, and it's where the bullet is put into the chamber, and of course Will's hands up, and right behind him it's Victor Strand, and he talks about the sword owned by George Hockley, who is a friend of, I believe it was Sam Houston, commander of the Twin Sisters. I'm not as familiar with this particular history, but I do have a lot of 1812 history knowledge, because when I was in and that's why I love this scene, because when I was in the Navy, I was stationed on board Old Ironsides, USS Constitution. This ship was built in 1794, finished in 1797, and played a major role in the War of 1812. So I'm loving all the history knowledge and the drops. it just kind of made me smile, and I really enjoyed hearing Victor Strand kind of talking about this. And of course, we know he got this because he was, I guess they were his Rangers, which I don't know if these are the same Rangers that Ginny had, but his Rangers, I guess they went out and found different things that was useful or some use, and that was one of the things that they got. And so they're bringing him up, and he's kind of giving him a tour through the tower, and he's showing him, how he is responsible for saving these people and being the only successful one out there. And he shows them how they're growing fruits and vegetables, and there was, had the putt-putt golf. You see people doing yoga. I mean, really impressive that this place is actually around within the apocalypse. But ultimately, it comes to the roof, and Victor said, but after some back and forth questioning, Victor says, "You know what? You need to go." And Will's saying, "But why? Why? Why do I have to go? I mean, why would you send me back out there?" And he basically said, "You're of no use to me." And he had, of course, mentioned this back before, that everyone who gets to stay has some sort of use to him. And so obviously Victor is, using people to help his benefit. And as he was going, he takes out this medallion, St. Christopher medallion, which has a lot of story within the Fear the Walking Dead, but it ultimately goes back to Daniel Salazar, and this scene reminded me of him, because Will, gives it to him, and he says, "You take this. You're going to need this more than me." And it reminds me of the conversation, of course, with Daniel in Ginny's office, when we learn about what the St. Christopher medallion was to him. And again, this theme of history that's going on. And so Victor says, "Where did you get this?" Because he, of course, knows how he gave it to Alicia. And Will's telling him, "Well, I found it on the dead." So Victor makes a deal with him and says, "I'll let you stay here if you bring me to wherever you found this." So they make a deal. They go out, and they come back to where his little truck or van where he's been living. And there's this other group that I forget what I think he was calling them the Stalkers, but they have all these ponchos, and they're coming out and they're shooting at Victor's group, and he gets in the van, but who are these people? Not Victor's group, but the Stalkers, whatever. I'm kind of interested in to see who they are, and I'm wondering if that was Alicia's group right there. But so they go back, and Victor finds something called he found something. Now, got my notes here. Where did? Oh yeah. He found some sort of box that mentioned the Franklin, which is the hotel where Alicia was locked underneath in the bunker, and he basically, leaves Will with his injury because he got shot in the leg, and he said, "I'll find it myself because I know where the Franklin is." And he goes looking, and he comes back to this lighthouse where Will was, at earlier, and he goes up there and he finds a map, and it shows the Franklin. It's fairly close from this lighthouse, and then all of a sudden, fog or this mist of stuff is coming in, and this was honestly one of the greatest scenes in the Walking Dead universe. I absolutely love this. Which is coming right up after this conversation that because Will's coming through, and you see the fog or the mist that's coming in. Walkers are behind him, and they have a struggle. They're talking back and forth, and we learn that Will actually knows Alicia, and they're asking each other, like, what, why aren't you, Victor's like, "Well, why aren't you there with her if you if you care for her so much. And they're just trying to pick each other's brain and find out why, Victor came out. If earlier he said he has everything he needs. And we kind of find out that Will had feelings for Alicia because for some reason he was kicked out, or at least that's what he's been telling Victor. But ultimately, they formed some sort of a truce after fighting and Victor trying to kill him a few times. And so Will goes to the door and he sees these walkers coming through the fog or the mist and he can't, but he sees that these people are from the Franklin, the people that he knew, the people that lived in Teddy's bunker. And Victor's, he comes up, pulls him back and closes the door. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he tells him, "I knew them people." And that they were from where, Alicia was staying. And then they, Will puts the gasoline into the engine and for the light upstairs at the lighthouse. And then Victor goes out, and this is a scene I'm talking about. The fall, it's just phenomenal. It almost rivals, honestly, the death of Jesus. It was so beautifully made. And he's out there. You got Will, who ran up to get the lights on, and then there's light coming in through the fog, and then you just got to see it, just the way it looked. Absolutely loved it. And Victor's, he's killing all these walkers that are coming through. Then the light comes off, and then Will goes out. He's yelling out, "Victor, where are you?" He goes out trying to find him, and then looks like he's about to get killed when he goes out there. And then Victor saves him by shooting him. Finally, they get to, they decide to go together to the Franklin, to where Alicia was, and they go through the to the underground bunker. We saw the tree. We saw where they were growing vegetables and different things. And they come into this room where that tree was. And we see a painting on the wall, and it looks like Alicia. There's two circles. And I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what the significance of that painting is. On one side, you got Alicia, and the other side, there's another walker. Now, this episode gave me major Madison vibes. You go back to season 6 with the walker that was on that tree. Everyone thought that was Madison in the beginning. It wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of talks of Madison, but what if that is sort of a reference to Madison, that Alicia's going to search for? She wants to know. She needs to see her mother's body, because we know she went back to this Dell Diamond Stadium before and never found Alicia's or Madison's body, her mother. And in the picture, you got two circles. You got a walker there. You got Alicia looking at her. What if that is some sort of reference to Madison and, her search for him? I don't know. I'm just rambling on about this, but something about that painting means something. And then they also see on this podium, which looks sort of like a presidential podium or something like that, but there's a little folded paper that shows, it says Will, and inside it says Padre. I don't know what the Padre means. I mean, Padre itself can mean, in Spanish translated, it can refer to father, which, dad. Does it have something to do with the priest? I don't know. And it just jumped in my mind that, I thought for a moment, San Diego Padres, we know that they are at Dell Diamond Stadium, which is actually a AAA baseball team of the Texas Rangers. And I was going to see if maybe that their name was the Padres, but it isn't. But just thinking about Madison in this episode, and maybe she went back to Dell Diamond Stadium to go search for her, but I could be off. But Victor, he needs to find. We're learning that Victor wants to find Alicia throughout this. Well, he's saying that she was like the only family to him, and that that Will's not the only one who loves her, but he never got a chance to say it. So we come back to the tower, and as they're leaving, I thought this that was the coolest thing. They got like 4 walkers that are pulling this contraption with the wheels, and they got the light that they took from the lighthouse, and they're they have them following, which that was genius. But they're coming back to where Victor is, and of course it's called the tower. And then you got a scene where Will and Victor are talking up there, and Will's pressing him. Is like, see, you did this because you love her, or you really care for her, and that's why you had left. And he's and that's why you're putting this light up, so you can help them find you. And of course, this brings me back to season 2, episode 13, where Madison Clark had put the light, or turned the lights on at the hotel, the Rosarita Hotel, to summon Nick, to try and see if Nick would see this. Of course, that brought Travis back, and who saw the lights. But Will's saying that you're doing this to summon Alicia, which, there's the parallel there. And then Victor ends up throwing him off the roof. And one of the things he mentions is that, I'm not doing it so she can get here. I'm doing it so the walkers are here and they can't get to us. But he wants to show Alicia that he did all this without her, and that he was right all along. But man, did this episode give me major Madison vibes. Of course, if you've been following any of my social medias, you know that I've been saying Madison lives, and I've only done this one other time where I was persistent that this person was alive, and that was Morales, and from The Walking Dead. And I just got this gut feeling that Madison is out there and she is coming. And Victor's number is up, I will say that. Now, one other thing that I've been noticing some parallels. Did you catch the pictures on the wall? Of course, this was of the dead. Now, at The Walking Dead, we got the Wall of the Lost of the Commonwealth. And they're taking pictures of people they're looking for, and Victor is taking pictures of the dead and putting it on the wall. It just made me think of the Wall of Lost, parallels between the two shows. And excellent episode. The tone of this episode was great. The visuals, the cinematography, the acting. Will was brilliant. I love that scene. His interactions with Victor. I loved seeing the development, and as Victor's changes, and we learn out who Victor is right now. And just, this episode was fantastic, and absolutely loved it. And I want to know what you guys think. What did you think of the episode? Were you getting the Madison vibes that I was? What did you think of Victor's change? Did you see some of the parallels with The Walking Dead? From the name of the tower to the... it wasn't the Wall of Lost, but one was using dead, one was using alive, but it just made me think of it. What did you think of that? Where do you think we're going to find Alicia? Where is she going? What did that painting mean with the 2 circles? And you got the walker with Alicia looking at that walker, or what appears to be a walker. What does Padre mean? So much to find out as we go on, but I hope you liked this video. If you did, smash that like button. Please give me a follow. I love you guys. And as always, in any of my reviews, I'd love to do a shout out. And this one is no different. And this one is going to Sherrandy, aka Blazygardner. And she is an amazing friend, fam. And she has this group where, she does these fantastic projects, does birthday videos for a lot of the Walking Dead universe. She's a huge fan of the Walking Dead universe, especially Fear the Walking Dead. And of course, Jenna Elfman is her favorite. But she's just an amazing person. And if you haven't got to know her or interacted with her, you definitely need to follow her on Instagram. Facebook and Twitter, and I will definitely be putting her information in the description. Check her out. And thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you guys.